Welcome to the Natural Balance Masterclass. My name is Neal. This is a collaborative masterclass. So if you're watching this, I invite you to participate fully. And what is natural balance? Natural balance is a global movement that's expressing through the hearts and the minds of the people. And it's global specifically because of the receiver that it's expressing from. And that receiver is the heart. Now, every single person, every single being on earth that's in a human body has a heart that is this receiver that then can express natural balance, that then can express your purpose, that then can express your difference, your unique gift that is yours to express in the world. So the heart is the place that picks up purpose, and it's the receiver that picks up source. But the heart's not the origin. It's not source itself. So there's source, then there's this body which can and does pick up source. And then to the degree that we express source, to the degree that we express the divine through us as our gift, then that is natural balance. And when we do that, we find that, like, literally, I can just be, and then from my being, tap into my difference, and then from my difference, from my being, I can ask a question. And for Neal personally, that question sounds like, "Hey, love, what would you have me do here?" This is stemming from a commitment I have to infinitely express and receive love. And this question is also coming from this innate knowing that God is love and that love is God, and they're actually synonymous, and that love is the fascia, the connective tissue that's it's in everything, and it's what scientists used to call space, but we now know there is no space. Space is illusion. What's the truth is fullness, and the connective tissue, the fascia that is connecting everything, I'm calling that love, and I'm calling that divine. And divine love, God, it's always there, and we choose whether we're going to focus on it. See, if I don't focus on divine, and if I don't focus on love, and if I don't focus on expressing that, then what I am focused on will grow and expand and accentuate. And if I do focus on divine, and I do focus on source, then divine, source, love, God, all these names pointing at the same indescribable thing. Because the moment we use words to describe the indescribable thing that's beyond words, there's already distortion because of words being used. So all these words are pointing towards divine, or pointing towards love, or pointing towards God. And I'm tapped into that. You're tapped into that. The I am in me is in this body is the same I am in the body that's watching this video. See, me, the label me doesn't, it's illusionary. It's a perception. Likewise, the label you is an illusionary perception. And the truth is oneness. The truth is oneself. The truth is infinite connection. That's love. That's this thing that is connecting us. And so when we go from infinite connection from oneself, we go from that infinitely connected place, and we enter a body, and then we generate the perception of separation, which looks like this body's here, that body's there, and obviously you can see based on other objects in relation to the people's bodies that they're, for example, there's a tree 15 foot from one person, but that tree is 30 foot from the other person. So based on the tree in the context of the people, you can distinguish distance. And now bringing movement to the people and growth to the trees and the environment, that movement now becomes seen in the perception of being time. An object moving through space, distance being affected, and then seeing that distance being affected as time. Time is an illusion. Have you ever done something you really didn't want to do, and it was like maybe 15 minutes and it felt like 5 years? Have you ever done something you really love to do and you spent maybe an entire day on this thing you really love to do, and it felt like it was like 2 minutes? Time is relative. The present is the gift, and when we tap into the present, we love God is only accessible in the present. In truth, there only is the present, but in the perception that we have capacity to create, we can create the perception that uh, that there is time. And in truth, that's an illusion, but we can create the perception of it. And when we become present, that's when time literally ceases. See, the only time time actually is a perception that we're living in is when we're like contemplating the past and looking at the past like this emotional it's not even that we're looking at it like it's emotional. It's like we're emotionally tethered to the past, and we have these events that have happened, and um, unless we actually feel the emotions connected with those events and process those emotions and go through them, we're going to be emotionally tethered to those past events. And what happens is we might not even remember the event, but in the present moment, what we as powerful creators do when we have unprocessed emotion from the past is that we bring those unprocessed emotions from the past into the present. And then in the present, those emotions come up. And often, how they'll come up is literally we'll create situations, scenarios, conversations. We'll create an external environment that is a trigger, that is a like a like an arrow shot from a bow. It's this it's like uh, a a ball popping out of water. It's this release of emotion that's the exact same emotion from the past, but because it's that exact same unprocessed emotion, it's got to come up in the present for us to feel it fully, for us to process it, for us to transcend it. And then from this transcendence of the emotion, we actually now can have capacity to feel higher elevated emotional states, because unprocessed emotion from the past typically is detrimental or negative unprocessed emotion. And if so, so that's one possibility, and then that's living in time. So, and then there's another aspect to living in time, which is when you're living in the future. And in this example, you would be in anxiety. And this is one I'm very familiar with, living in the future and creating scenarios and situations and creating dots and lines of recipe of exactly how that event or how that conversation is going to literally manifest. And not only how it's going to manifest, the my way of being is going to be, how the other person's way of being will respond energetically, and then what the resolution will be in conclusion of the interaction. And um, so in the past, I thought I was valued for what I do, so I would do a lot to feel valued. But then what happened was I had this like awakening where I literally merged with everything for all of eternity. Like I was beyond time, and I was in an experience of infinite connection in a multi-dimensional space. And um, so then from this perception of this infinite connection, I became aware of that these states in the future that I can contemplate and create and connect dots to. And this is all a logical egoic construction of constructing a roadmap to get a specific result. And the specific result is usually in it brings up some degree of gratification, some degree of significance, or some degree of like love, which is always there, but in this illusion of creating this thing that we're going to accomplish in the future, there we sometimes forget that we already have love, and we think when this thing happens, it's when this thing happens that we'll actually receive it. But the truth is, we've already got the love, and it's only us just remembering that we've already got it is when we can feel it and experience it and start to see it around us. Um, so natural balance is a state of being that can be ungrounded or grounded. And it's a way of being, of showing up precisely as the creator created you to be, as the creator created this different expression here on earth to express itself in direct correlation, cooperation, in love, in harmony, and with balance with all of the parts of the whole of the one self. And so my journey discovering natural balance inside of this body has been a journey of first of all, not knowing who I was. Second of all, having this experience of merging with everything for all of eternity. And then from there, um, being in a space of not necessarily having a direction, because I was in a space of remembering that direction is a perception that we generate, and it's just one. And from this oneness perspective, starting from there, when I would communicate, when I would interact, what this interaction would look like from this oneness perspective is this super spacey, ungrounded way of being, which was a way of being of oneness, but it was so infinitely connected that the infinite connection that was happening and being expressed was ungrounded to be received by grounded people who were normal people, but from where I was speaking from, communicating from just having had this experience of literally being outside of time, being infinite, and merging with everything for all of eternity. I was operating from an ungrounded space, and I didn't know how to take that ungrounded perspective and actually channel it through a body with words so that it would actually make sense to people that I was communicating to. And so then from this like super ungrounded space, I started like self-development. I started going out into nature and putting my feet on the ground and like feeling the earth and feeling the grass, and specifically feeling my feet connected to the earth and to the grass. And what started happening was my energy became more grounded, and I had I still had a lot of these like spiritual concepts going on in my brain, but the difference now was before I didn't really have a choice if I wanted to say it or not. from this ungrounded space, from living from the upper chakras, specifically from the third eye or the crown chakra. What was happening was like source was so eminent that there would be times when I would open my mouth and it would just like source is coming out, and it's like Neal didn't really have a choice of when to turn it on or shut it off. And that's what was ungrounded about it. There wasn't balance, there wasn't centeredness, there was spaciness, and there was a lot of movement, but the movement was mostly ethereal. And when people would hear it, they would either the conversation would be over in a minute, or like they and I would be in a meditative state. Uh, I already was in a meditative state, but they would either raise to their upper chakras, or the conversation would be over. And most times the conversation just was over. So now from that ungrounded space, I now my energy is being more grounded, and I'm still talking in the past right now, by the way, in case you're wondering. So I'm speaking from probably the year 2022, potentially 2021. And so I began grounding now. I began literally connecting with the earth, connecting with my lower centers. And what happened was something dynamic happened in my life to my physical body that additionally supported me being grounded. I got what I asked for, but I didn't get it how I wanted it. And so I was already starting to be grounded somewhat. And to the degree that I had a change in careers, where I started being part of this nursery, taking care of plants, growing plants, learning different varieties of plants. And it was during that time. I don't know if I've even really ever put this story out there, so this is a perfect opportunity. It was during that time, being connected with that nursery. So now I'm in like 2022 for sure. Boom, there I was, getting out of a truck, literally on a job site on a lakeside property where we were landscaping. And I'm like walking this property, and it's in the fall, and there's frost on the ground, but there's no snow. So it's cold weather. The ground is hard. The lake has a thin layer of ice on it. And I'm walking around this house, and it's like the middle of the day, and I've just eaten lunch, and I'm communicating with a friend. And at the time, I'm really just gaining confidence in my capacity to do forward and backward rolls connected to the ground, a variety of a parkour roll. And so I decide to roll on this hillside that was angled towards the lake. And I did backwards rolls, and I roll, and rather than rolling precisely straight, my roll angles, and I roll to the side, and I roll into a rock garden retaining wall. Like smack my back, and I definitely affected some things that day. But precisely what I affected to this very moment, I still don't know exactly what. I didn't go to a doctor. I didn't go like necessarily go look at what happened internally. But long story short, I wasn't really able to walk for like a whole week. It really affected my lower back. And what happened was I went from this super spacey spiritual being way in my upper chakras to Oof, just being fully in my body. There was a degree of pain that I was experiencing, and so much so, like during the first 3 days, I wasn't even really able to sit up. Um, but even at that time, I was super into exercise and self rehabilitation and fuck like medical doctors, like actually like a whole medical system. I wasn't convinced in their capacity to heal people, and I just chose not to go that route. And I started doing calisthenics, a lot of body movements without weights, and I'd been weight training prior to this, and then so my back started becoming looser, and I started including weights. And I've been on a journey of healing that back, and literally I just declared it healed in January of 2024, and that was after going through a 10-day meditation with Hridaya Yoga, with 6 hours of meditation per day. And so since that time, I now feel this alignment. And uh, what what's interesting, I went this whole, like I went from not knowing who I was to being super ungrounded to wanting to be grounded to then being like in pain in my body, like, all right, I got what I asked for, but I didn't necessarily want this, to now in the present moment, having capacity to use my words to articulate what happened in such a way that you can hear it and be connected to the experience. And my old version, Neal the ego, Neal the with all the perceptions and with all the expectations and with all the opinions and with all the my truths. One of my truths in the past was that I'm a shitty speaker, and that um, that basically people don't get me. I was right about the second one. People don't get me. The first one I was inaccurate about. I'm a freaking inspiring and fun communicator, and this is part of my natural balance, is capacity to use words to communicate. And I've resisted this, but I am very conscious that it is part of my gift. And what I'm another aspect of my gift is being an intuitive permaculture garden master. And now merging these two together, I can use word to promote gardening, to promote wellness, to promote food being the medicine. That we actually don't need food. We don't need medicine. We just need food that has the vitamins and nutrients inside of it. And that is the medicine. It's not in addition to what we're already eating. The medicine is what we're eating. And so with that being said, welcome Umi, welcome David. I'd like to open this up and see where you're at and see any comments or any questions.
You are right on point, Neal. I enjoyed your presentation. Um, and I am again inspired. If that grounding uh, was the source of your transformation and now finding balance, I'm inspired to ground more. I do it occasionally, but not, as they say, religiously. I mean, I don't do it daily, even though I know it would be beneficial for me to do it daily. I haven't, but I think it is worthwhile, part of the spiritual practice and development, to connect daily. Right. Yeah. So, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And you are a good speaker. And at first I didn't get you, but I get you now. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shall I speak?
I don't know. Shall you?
I shall. Hi, Neal. Hi, Umi. I had a chat with Umi earlier today. It's kind of a serendipity seeing her in this meeting. So, hi, Umi. I extended to her a gift for the Remember experience. The last round, I couldn't attend. So, in one of the spiritual gatherings, 2 weeks ago, I'd like to sponsor somebody if I could. And Umi chimed in, and we connected today to complete that. So that was awesome. So that's part of my own grounding, if you will. I totally relate to grounding. I've been physically grounding for several years now. We have a thing, unfortunately, up here called winter. So the grounding is more difficult. When there's snow on the ground, a little more difficult and uncomfortable. But I have a garage and a basement that is concrete, so I can walk down there barefoot in the wintertime. So that's kind of cool. And I can relate to you in what you said, that I get this feeling that people don't quite get me. I've had a lot of, I guess, rejection, you might say, in my past with relationships, certain people. I think I come across as odd or a weird vibe or whatever. So I don't have like a lot of close friends. I have acquaintances and a few people have become close, but it's not, people tend to, I guess, get repelled. But like you, though, I found some grounding and some joy in the natural world. I've always been drawn to wilderness and the wild and wild places and hiking, oftentimes alone and solo and that kind of thing. And I think that's my meditation, is going into the wilderness. And then from that, just having this desire to connect with the natural world, with plants, and like you, have really been drawn into permaculture. So I think I've shared before that we've kind of converted our little house here into a micro permaculture farm. And right now it's pretty exciting because, it's spring and everything's popping. And I think I sent you a picture, Neal, of our apple tree blossoms. Just little things like that. And it's really cool too. In the wilderness, we have a woods walk not far from here. We take the dog, and the emergence of the ground cover. And we just saw just a few days ago these lady slippers that popped up, and this cutest little flower on this broadleaf at a base. This little stem shoots up, and this little tiny pink flower, the lady slipper, emerges, and they're just wild in the woods, and they're just a delight along our path. So it's those little things, reminding us there is, God is in everything, and there's beauty, and there's and the other thing is that God works in mysterious ways. So that's part of that mystery, is seeing the natural world awakening in the spring. So we're in New York here, and there's 4 seasons. So when spring comes, it comes with fury, because it truly is an awakening. The warmth comes on, and everything just pops. So just in the last 2 weeks, we've gone from leafless trees to full-on bloom, and now it's green everywhere. It's much like Costa Rica, where it's just rich with green. We've had rain just when we need it, and now sun, and it's just spectacular. So it's just kind of like, pinching myself with that joy of this onset of spring. So and then the tasks that we have, which are, and Brenda's out right now planting some starts that we have. Is Neal over here? Yeah.
Is that you can carry that? Why don't you come carry it outside for just to give them up?
What do you got? Oh yeah, she's we had a lot of squash plants we started, and she's putting out. Let's see if I can reverse the camera here. Hang on a second. Camera, here we go. So here we go. She's got her petunias right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I bought my seedlings.
Wow, it looks really warm there.
Oh yeah, there's the kale flowers right there. We let the kale winter over. We get a crop all summer long, and then they get snowed in, and then in the spring it's a biennial. So this is the biennial part, where in the spring they reemerge with the seed stems, and we're letting it go to seed right then, and we collect the seed later and replant it. It literally is in situ. There's my little apple tree I planted, and there's a little peach, and we've got there's a little food forest right there that's emerging, We got
Yeah, so
one
we
back
got
there.
some.
It's a little bit more advanced.
So yeah, here's the,
There we go.
this is a
I don't know how
pear,
far I can go for Wi-Fi here, but
this is pear.
that's the Asian pear right there.
Wow.
Look at the garlic. Look at the garlic I got
Little
growing here.
bushes. I don't even remember what everything is.
And this is strawberries. That my little mound there kind of died off, but you know they spread around. So this is honeyberry right here. This small plant there. You can see the further food forest. There's the apple tree. You know, we're just in a neighborhood here. This is our neighbors. You know, so we're in suburbia,
Yeah.
but we're the radicals with the you know, rain barrel right here to collect for rainwater. We got potatoes and beans planted over here. Look at the comfrey plant right there. The comfrey is amazing. It just pops. Do you guys grow that down there in Costa Rica?
We can grow it. It's on our priority list. We're not growing it right now.
Well, once you bring it in, it tends to seed itself everywhere. So you have plenty.
You would have to cut it back.
Look at the fern bed over there. We planted that with 4 ferns underneath that cherry tree, and look how it's blown up with ferns.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Wow, that's
You guys
gorgeous.
in Costa Rica, you plant some, and it just takes off. And look at this. Hopefully, I can still get the Wi-Fi here. Look at the blueberries over here. You'll see the.
Your Wi-Fi got affected, Dave. I don't know if you can hear me, but
Inside of the cars. So here we just have a little. Here's a little peach tree, right here. I just planted that this year, from Gurneys.com. So it's and there's a whole, we call it a fedge, a fruit hedge. Well, it's all blueberries along the fence line right there.
Nice.
So I mean, this is like a little bit every day. Here's look at the strawberries. Look at these freaking strawberries.
There's some.
Look how big those leaves are.
Yeah.
Look at those.
Look at the berries. The berries.
Wow.
Yeah, green berries. They'll be red in a month.
What do you got in that soil,
right
Dave?
there?
Dave, what do you got in the
This
strawberry
is all
soil?
pure. It's just compost. You know, we mulch it with some rabbit bunny berries. You know, the rabbit shit, rabbit manure, and you know, I do have some azomite, which is a mineral like a rock dust, and I spread that everywhere. I don't know if you saw the backyard over here. There's a geodesic dome right there. See the rain barrels I got right here? I got 2 IBC tanks coming off the gutters here.
Nice.
I mean, that's how we collect water. So yeah, it's a little project, and it's really a fun little joy. Let's see if I get Wi-Fi. I'll just take a quick gander over here. We have here's lettuce growing in my. We got stuff growing everywhere. I mean, it's just look at this right here. This is Brenda has her barley grass fodder.
Wow.
Right there. Here's my wood pile for next winter. I got some starts right here too. This is arugula and oak leaf lettuce. And over here we've got we got more plants coming in here. I got radishes. We got old tires we put in the ground, and I put stuff in there too.
Amazing.
So I don't know if you can see the ducks aren't. Oh, they're over there now. There's ducks. I don't know if you can see over there behind. There's actually a currant bush, and you'll see some white animals over there. They're ducks. We got a bee box. That's a bee catch, Joe Sharaskin, out of from the Ringing Cedars of Russia. He makes those things, and you're supposed to catch a bee swarm. So you put a scent in grass and some bee propolis. It's got frames inside there. So the idea is that you attract the scouts. You know, this time of year, the bees will try to find a new home for the hive. So the scouts will go out. They'll look for a good site, and then they'll come back to the hive, and they say, "Hey, we found a spot," you know, for their vibrations. And then the queen will then fly with the swarm to a new location. So the idea of those boxes is to catch a swarm, and then you put them in a bigger horizontal hive after that. So we're trying to catch a swarm. We tried it last year, but nothing happened. So we're trying it again. I got 3 of those. We got a friend about maybe 5 miles from here, has a little farm, and we gave one to him, and we have another one in a little wilderness area where we walk the dog. It's like a park, an old reservoir, and we're hoping to catch them there too. So that's part of this whole vibration, is to attract the wonderful wildlife. And we've heard that a natural bee swarm is more healthy. There's these varroa mites that can infect the beehives, but it's supposedly a natural versus buying a nuc, from a commercial bee place. Capturing the wild swarm is supposed to be more resistant to the varroa mite. So we're trying to catch a wild swarm, and then we'll be able to have some bees. We really want to start a bee thing, but we don't want to buy a nuc from a commercial, bee. There's one nearby too, not too far away, called Better Bee, Greenwich, New York. They're actually pretty well known. But anyway, so this is our emergence into the natural world of things, and just literally today, and I'm trying to feel if this is a calling, because if there's a remember experiences coming up in August, and I said, we kind of been there, done that, and then Brenda says, I think we need to do that again. So now we're being called back to Costa Rica, probably for August, to connect down there. And my goal really is to find some property, and we might just relocate. I'm not sure if Grace 2 is the right place, but I've been looking at some stuff with Spicy Life Real Estate. Pepe Lopez. Have you met him?
I have not. No.
He's got like a fro. He's done a Dominicalito. He's got a little
I
office.
may have met him and not known his name.
Yeah, he has like a fro, with part in the middle. He speaks, good English and everything. But anyway, so he's. I think I sent a note to a link to Umi this morning to a place that looks pretty awesome. But now that one I showed her was under contract. But it's got a fruit farm. It's fully engaged with all kinds of mature fruit trees. That's what we need. I'm getting old, so I need to have something already started. But there's another place in Platanillo that he pointed out. Looks really sharp. It's right on a little creek with a swimming hole. It's kind of steep. It flows down, but then it goes to a flat, and then there's a creek, and there's a little waterfall. There's a swimming hole there. But it's got a lot of rambutan and papaya and a bunch of different fruits. A banana, which is common out there, obviously, because everything grows in Costa Rica. So anyway, the idea is to potentially, engage in the permaculture down there as well, but in community as well. We're just finding a vibration, down there that we don't seem to find up here. We have a group of friends and everything, but they're just not as connected spiritually, like you just mentioned in your little witness there. That sort of knowing and embracing of the God is I am, internally, and then externally bringing it out. So I'm feeling somewhat called, and I said to you before in the beginning, I don't feel people, find me to be odd at times, but I'm trying to take that sort of oddity and bring it into permaculture and this love of the wilderness and of nature into some kind of a teaching as well. So thank you for reflecting with that, and I'm finding a parallel path.
You're welcome. I'm curious, like you shared a lot, and you may have already answered my question with your share, but I'm going to ask it anyways, just to see how you answer. The question is, what do you think, like, your unique gift is? Like, what is your natural balance expression?
Well, it's interesting you asked that, because ever since I've been getting involved in the earth waking a couple of years ago, I've gone through the visionary leadership program. I have not done a masterclass, and I'm trying to get that voice out, and that's been my challenge. I think I suffer from a case of chronic self-judgment. It goes back to my in this reflection, going back to my childhood. I was brought up as a Catholic, and my parents were very religious, and I had that whole guilt sensation, and I was chastised as a child, for doing the wrong thing, and I was a free spirit as a child, and as a result, I actually rejected a lot of that religious upbringing. I got involved with friends, as a teenager, drinking beer and smoking pot, when I was like 16. And I still do that to this day, by the way. So I find joy in, you know, a couple of beers by the fire and smoking a joint, you know. But I'm losing some of that interest in that of late. But yeah, trying to find what the calling is. And I mentioned before in my share was the wilderness. You know, I was a Boy Scout as a teenager, and I found just great joy in the wilderness, hiking, backpacking. And to this day, my wife Brenda and I, we still go in the wilderness to go camping. We still camp. We have a tent. We bring more comforts with us now because I use a canoe so we can carry more weight. So we go canoe camping. And you know, it's funny because if I have some time off, a day off, or a weekend in the summertime, I'm like, let's go camping. I want to spend that time out the outdoors in the wilderness. So there's something there that is my purpose, my calling in the wilderness, knowing you know, that connection that God is completely in the wild there as a full expression. And maybe that's my attraction is that full expression of God in wilderness, and then bringing that in some sort of a healing to other people. So I'm not sure how to quite frame that, how to voice that or bring it out. I'm still working on that.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing.
But like I said, I find joy in wilderness, and well, even in Costa Rica, you know, we spent a little time in Diamante, you know, down at Ecomaste, and Jose and Amanda were not there. She said she was going to be, but she wasn't. But anyway, we poked around, we walked around. It's just we found this thrill in that landscape down. You've been there. The thrill of just this jungle, this immersion, the water, the sounds of the birds and everything. I was like, this place is magic. I found myself wanting to kind of just dwell and be in that jungle and just, you know, immerse with all that energy that's there. And you did a silent meditation there. You probably embraced that pretty heavily.
Yeah, that's where after that I declared my back healed.
Oh, there you go. And here's another thing, alignment with that. I have a skin issue, and I've been using black salve to kind of remedy it. In fact, I have had a bad one here on my arm. I use the black salve, and it's healing. So I'm declaring myself healed of, and it is. I think it's an intention. You can heal yourself, and I did note in the chat there. You know, the Hippocrates comment: "Let thy food be thy medicine." You know what we're trying to gain from the food is the energy, not so much the material content. It's the energy in the food, and the cleaner, the more pure it is, the more the healing it can be. So I think that's what you're finding where you are, is there's this purity there. And, you know, we raise animals, we use them as food animals, but, you know, we actually do a harvest, but it's done with love. And those animals are given love their entire life. So we see that as the energy coming back to us. Yes, it's a meat. Yes, there's a death that is occurring, but we offer, much like the Native Americans, as a blessing. You know, we'll take a chicken and we'll hold it. We'll, you know, give it some comfort, and then go to the killing cone and make it quick. But it's a blessing in that sense. So that's part of that energetic connection with the food that we need. And we're trying through this permaculture experiment and all this activity is to source as much as possible with our own hands and our own spot here. And because of that, we can control the energetic inputs. So I think that's what
precisely.
That is the food. It's not, and that's why we're such a sick society, because we've lost contact with the food. We go to the grocery store, who knows where it's come from, who raised it, under what conditions, most likely horrible, genetically modified, tainted with poison. You know, is that really what we need to put in our bodies? That's why we have a sick society. That's why energetically we're in war all the time as a society. Not we, but, you know, humanity in large, because we're being fed toxicity, both orally, visually, as well as all around us, you know? So we want to detox. And I think that's really, again, calling the wilderness in is there's a place of purity there. And maybe I'm finding this as I'm talking to you, that sense of purity and clear energetic vibration that is the wilderness, because it's untainted by man. It's God in the raw, really, right there. But you see the systems. And here in New York, we get the 4 seasons. So each season has its moment of incredibleness and reward. And there's a joy in each season In fact, mentioned before about the hiking and everything. We try to go out in each season in its peak and have an epic experience, whether it be in the canoe or in the fall, climb a mountain and just get the vista with the colors, the beautiful fall colors. In the winter, we'll go cross-country skiing over a frozen lake and have a picnic out in the sun, in the wilderness. And it's just beautiful. So we can enjoy every season and get that energetic connection. It's really a meditation, going out into the wilderness and being receptive as the big issue to those energy fields. And that's why I notice I'm very perceptive. I mentioned the lady slipper. I mean, they're very subtle on the ground. You gotta look, but we know they're there now. And I took a whole bunch of pictures. I should share them. I don't know where, but of the emergence of the forest floor over the last couple of weeks, the fiddleheads that emerged from the ferns, all the little forest flowers, on the forest floor. It's pretty phenomenal to see that awakening of the forest. And then, of course, now the birds have come in and they're singing their songs. It's a noisy place because of all the bird life that's flying back in from the south. They follow the food and the emergence of the flowers. And of course, the insects that come with it. So it's all part of this rhythm that is nature. And I think in that rhythm, too, that's another thing we need to do as humans is be part of that rhythm. We become sort of linear and linear in the timeline of just work, and there's never a rest, there's never a pause. We do that around Christmas time, culturally, but nobody really rests. They get all stressed out about Christmas and all that goes with it. We're not following the rhythms of nature. But when we do, and we get that ebb and flow, we find that we can heal ourselves because we're in that rhythm, the energetic rhythm that is the force of God, which we are on this planet. The planet is alive to supply and to feed us. That's the other thing that's amazing, Neal, is that once you have this totally knowing, is that everything that's here on this planet is for us. It is created by God for us. We are here as God, experiencing the 3D and expanding our knowledge for Him, for the greater consciousness. So that's our purpose, really, is to be here, experience it, interact with it, co-create with it, and make it better, expand it. God is expansion, complete expansion, energetic expansion. So that's what you're getting with your meditation. It's what you're getting with your touch, with your hand, with your voice now, is that energetic expansion. And that's how the attraction occurs too. And so I'm trying to embrace that as well. I started commenting to your, I got back into the visionary leadership, commenting. I left your comment on your share with, I think it was mind mapping. Oh, you're frozen. Can you hear me now? Umi, can you hear me now? Yeah, frozen. You hear me? Yeah, you guys are frozen. Oh, Neal is frozen. I was going off on a...
Yeah, I don't know why I'm texting you. I could just pop in and say, yes, I hear you.
Take yourself off of mute, correct. Well, we lost Neal.
Yeah, he was frozen there.
See a curtain. There he comes.
Yeah.
You were frozen. I think your connection went flat.
Yeah, we had while you're talking about purpose, boom, we had an electrical flicker and the Wi-Fi shut off for a moment.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't lose
back.
that. So anyway, I was going on a rant there, so I think I'm complete.
Thank you. I had this piece, and what you shared was like with tapping into the nature and the energetic rhythms. Like there's times when here in the village, like it'll be sunny and then there'll just be like a day of just torrential rain. And there's been times when I've had things planned when these rains show up, and often like I'll tune in because I'm like checking with the energetics, with nature, like what are you asking for today, God? Why is it raining so hard? Like What am I being called to do? And sometimes it is rest. Sometimes it's literally meditate, like literally sit your ass in the bed, lay in the bed and just meditate. Like this is the plants are being watered, things are growing. There's not a need for you to do right now. There's a opportunity to be. And so with those energetics of nature and tapping into that, I have an offer that I'm going to speak to right now, which is an opportunity on December 27th to January 2nd. So it's overlapping the new year, going from 2024 to 2025. And this event is called the Up Level Ceremony. And it's a 7-day event where for 5 days we're in silence and food fasting. And it's located in the location is in rural Costa Rica on the Grace 2 property. So we'll be as a collective in meditation for 6 hours a day. And that's broken up into 2-hour windows with yoga, stretching, in between the meditations. So this up level ceremony is a minimum donation amount of $333. You get out what you put in, so that's minimum donation. If you want to see this movement grow of natural balance and connecting people with nature, you can donate more. But by donating $333, you're going to reserve your spot. Like you do that, and boom, your reservation's in, and you have opportunity to participate.
Can you give me the date?
Yeah, it's December 27th, 2024. That's the start date. And then the end date is January 2nd, 2025. So this is an opportunity to connect with nature, to go inwards, because we're so used to talking, we're so used to always being distracted. This isn't that. We're going inside, we're introspecting. The maximum number of people that are participating is 30 people. So once 30 people is reached, that's max. And so with that being said, you're invited and expect to come out of this event with cleanliness in your blood, like with no shit in your system, and with a radiance coming from inside of your body and literally radiating out. So this is what this is, and I'm gonna leave that right there and put my information in the chat if you want to make a donation tonight or save it and do that another time. And if you're watching this on replay on YouTube, the link to access the donation will be in the description. So that's complete, and we have 3 minutes left. Does someone here, David or Umi, want to make an offer in, let's say, a minute and a half?
You mean of a service?
Of a service or a product. And this is going out on YouTube, so it's going to be visible to the public and to my audience on the Experience podcast. So yeah, it's this space is you show up to this space to network, you show up to this space to connect with others, and another third reason you might show up to this space is to give and receive offers. So this is an opportunity for that. We're coming to it pretty late tonight, but that's all right. So you got a minute and a half. Who wants to go?
I'm not ready yet.
All right.
Still contemplating.
Do you want to? All right. So do you want to just give it a go?
I know my offer will be working with children
Yeah.
or fitness or some type of fitness with anyone who wants to get in shape or maintain their health, just to feel vibrant and to exercise the 3 different forms of agility, mobility, and flexibility. I'd like to do flexibility first, or working with children. But so I haven't come up with the actual way I want to do the service or extend the service online or in person, So I don't feel like I'm ready to offer it yet. And I don't know what would be a fair exchange because I say I'm always in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right people for the fair exchange. So I'd like to really concentrate. But let me not take any more time in case Dave has something to offer.
Yeah. I do have a question about that, Umi. Are you open to a question?
Sure.
Like with like being a teacher and teaching children, is that general teaching, or is it like a specific category or topic?
Well, general would be applicable, I think, if I were still in the matrix and teaching at a public school with the established curriculum. I think mine is more specific to customize to the children that are in my presence or in my care, in my community, wherever that is. And so it's very customized to the children and know your audience, So at Earth Awakening, it would be with the children that are there and in the community. I would like it to be open to the young people in the community, and we would be learning outside, which is contrary to standard.
So this is specifically in physical proximity also.
Yes, ideally, I was doing online teaching and it was okay, but I think with the age group that I love to work with, we need to be in physical presence of each other.
All right. That was more than one question. I'll stop there. Do you want to say more, Umi, or where are you at?
I'm complete, but you've given me, food for thought. Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna go a little bit over here. So it's 6 o'clock. If you got an appointment or if you got somewhere to go, feel whatever, do your thing.
I'm here. But I want to hear if Dave has anything
because you spoke to something with this teaching, which is all right. Well, if I'm gonna do it in the matrix, I'm gonna do it, like in this general sense, and just be with the curriculum and I get it. I'm shortcutting it and.
No, I won't do it in the matrix ever again. So I'm just saying.
Incredible. Yeah. So if you were, there's this generalness about it, and then you shared something else, which was all right. I'm going to be interacting with children and teaching them, and I asked like if there's this generalization, and you're like, no, there's this specificity. I don't know the word you used.
Customized.
It's customized. Like it's customized to fit the individual because you're aware of who you're interacting with.
Right.
And then you spoke of a third piece, which is that it's in nature and that you're going to be in physical proximity. So I just really want to shine light on how this new world teaching facilitation is occurring. Is first of all, it's physical. We're literally able to physically interact. Second of all, it's customized, and third of all, I don't know what the third one is. Do you know, Umi?
Nature, customized, physical.
Nature. That's it. So nature. That's the third component. So so there's these components that are they're totally different than this view of the matrix. And I acknowledge you, Umi, for being a leader and for choosing to be a facilitator for children to learn. I know this is part of my purpose, but I don't know how that fits in yet. And so with that, this masterclass is complete. Thank you, Umi, for being here. Thank you, David, for being here. Who you are makes a difference.
my offer.
Oh, you got an offer?
Yeah, I want to hear Dave's offer.
I can give you a quickie if you got another minute.
I got another 15 minutes. Let it rip.
No, it was a brainstorm in our previous conversation and share. So yeah, my offer is well, really, it's about the question is, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? A lot of folk we talked about. Yeah, we talked about the the illness of society. So I've spent an entire lifetime, pursuing different avenues of health. I'm a kitchen master. I can cook anything in the kitchen. I've been a vegetarian. I've been a vegan. I've been a carnivore. I've done it all. And it's not necessarily one way to eat for human beings. It's your way to eat. So I will be offering you a 1 hour health coach opportunity. And the first half hour would be just exploring where you're at, what's your diet like, and what are your ailments. Everybody's got certain dysfunction. Just with an open heart and ears, I will listen to what you got going on. And in the second half hour, I will give advice from my experience and my understanding of natural balance, of holistic healing and health, letting the food be thy medicine, as we spoke of, and offer some solutions in the last few minutes of correction and how you can take simple steps immediately to get on the path of healing. And we can take it from there. But the initial offer for this 1 hour is I would normally charge $333, but for the folks that are listening to this in the podcast here, I will offer it for $111 as a special to check it out. So health coach, holistic healing, and purification consultation. We'll go deep into, not too deep because it's only an hour, but there'll be an opportunity for an upgrade later. We'll give you a secondary offer to take it further, to really embark on the cleanse of your mind, body, and soul, so you can get right finally with your body and with your heart, because it's an inside job in the end. Even though you're putting body food from the outside in, it's the internal digestion, it's the internal digestion in the mind that we need to purify and clear, and then you'll be on the path to healing. So $111 for the folks on this podcast. And my link, I will have to send the Bridgebuck link, which I don't have it right at the moment.
Dave, send me that link via Signal, and then I'll put it in
Bank's link. Yes.
Yes, and then that link, if you're in on Dave's offer, if you're like, shit, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm ready to feel great from the inside out. If you're in for Dave's offer, check the description, and that's how you'll find his offer. That's how you'll take his offer.
I'll put it in your chat on the YouTube channel too. I'll go back in there because I'm subscribed to your channel.
Perfect.
So there we have it. I'm complete.
Awesome.
That was a great pitch, Dave. Very good offer. Perfect.
And so in conclusion, we're complete and we're not finished. See, there's more journey to go here. Natural balance is something that it's happening right now, but virtual is one thing. And how you've already expressed, Umi, physical is an entirely different experience. And I know everybody on this call right now is very well aware of this. And so right now, this camera is going to turn off. And when this camera turns off, your unique purpose, natural balance, that's when it really turns on, and that's when it really expresses. With that, good night.
Thank you. Peace and love.